you guys remember when the Canon EOS RP came out and this was my reaction?
Oh no, no, no!
Well, today it's time to look at whether or not the Canon EOS RP is the most underrated camera of 2020.
Good to see you social distancing. Good job, man.
It's 7 a.m. the next morning. Kai and Princess are still sleeping, but that was literally all I filmed yesterday. Fake. I did run 11 kilometers yesterday though, that's a record. And I'm out here already doing time lapses at 7 in the morning. That should count for something, right? I don't like early mornings.
Yeah, we drive this, I just have a quick going on.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Daddy. I don't like this anymore.
Okay. I love filmmaking, and I remember when the Canon EOS RP got announced, I was like, finally a camera that I can recommend to people that want to get into filmmaking but are pretty serious about it. It's the cheapest full frame option out there, but it's one of the few, actually it's the only camera I've ever said to not buy, and that's because they just didn't include 24 frames per second for no reason at all. I have no idea why they did it. It's definitely not a technical limitation or anything like that. Huge mistake. Luckily they walked it back and they added 24 frames per second, and ever since then I've wondered, is the Canon RP the most underrated camera of 2020? And that's what I'm going to try to figure out today. If you're wondering where I am, I gotta go to the grocery store, and it's legit giving me a little bit of anxiety, like just a little bit. I think there's a lineup to get in. I brought gloves. This will have to be my mask since I'm trying to save the mask for the healthcare workers. Okay, time to switch over. Okay, we're on the RP now.
Doors aren't letting me in. Will I come in? It's not on, I'm just trying to put it down. Princess has a massive list.
Korean barbecue. I feel like you guys should be getting a raise right now. We appreciate it.
Survived, got my groceries. Never ever did I think that the first shots I get with the Canon RP would be at a grocery store. That was stressful.
Are you YouTuber?
Yep. Ah, come on. I'm a TTI.
I feel like I'm in like a weird puzzle game where I'm trying to figure out like, how can I do this thing without touching? How do I keep my hands clean? When do I have to take off my gloves? When can I put them back on? It's a very stressful game though.
She subscribed. Now I gotta get all this stuff home, and then we gotta disinfect everything. Just gotta double hand sanitize, just for peace of mind. One clean hand, one glove hand.
I'm gonna have to take at least 2 trips.
Okay.
And that was the most stressful grocery store trip I've ever taken in my life. It is literally impossible. I probably touched my face like a million times without even realizing it. I tried my best not to. I don't think I did, but it's hard.
Princess is washing all the produce now.
Just on our little walk, bike, exercise, daily routine.
Trying to get Kai out at least once a day to get some fresh air.
I want candy.
I don't have a dead cat on this mic, so audio is probably going to be terrible, but the EOS RP is basically like a bare bones full frame camera. It's the cheapest full frame camera there is, so it's going to be a little bit bare bones. It does mostly similar stuff like the EOS R, 4K with a crop, 60 frames per second in 1080, but they are all at a lower bit rate and crappier codec, so that is something to know. Probably the biggest difference, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the biggest difference is that there's no C-Log, so the dynamic range isn't quite all there. It's a pretty decent photography camera too. Took a few photos, even though this is like the worst lighting conditions possible, but not bad.
So, is it the most underrated camera of 2020? Well, it's hard to complain for $1,000. It's literally the cheapest full frame camera out there. Image looks great, autofocus, flip LCD screen, it's full frame, great photos, electronic stabilization, time-lapse mode. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than the EOS R? No. Is it as good as the EOS R? No. You're missing the better codecs and bit rates, and C-Log is the major thing that you're missing. And also the batteries are a lot smaller, so they don't last as long. And there's no slow motion, just like on the EOS R. If you want more of a slow motion camera, you're gonna have to invest in something like the Sony a7 III, which is gonna cost you double what the EOS RP costs. But hey, it's pretty dang good.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, hi, Kai. I was just telling them that when the RP got announced, I thought it was going to be the camera that I'm going to recommend to everybody, and then they did the whole thing with the 24 frames per second. But now I can safely say this is a camera that I would recommend to anybody that has this camera in their budget range. There is one little problem though. The body might be fairly cheap, but the lenses are not. For example, the lens that I'm filming on right now is like $2,300, I think, the 15 to 35. So that's over double what the camera body costs. Yes, there are some cheaper options, but none of the, like for example, the 24 to 105, the STM lens, but it's a variable aperture 4 to 7.1. So that's not the best, but that one's $400. It's not too bad. But that's really with any camera. Like you buy the Sony. Yeah, we're gonna get you an Apple. Like the Sony a7 III, it costs around 2,000 bucks, and then you want something like this, a nice wide angle lens like the 16 to 35, that's gonna run you over $2,000 again. Overall, I think we gotta give this camera, do we give it a 2 thumbs up or a 1 thumbs up, Kai?
They give you some up.
It's pretty good.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe and I'm safe.
I appreciate the beard support from people. A lot of people have been saying they like it. And Outdoor Beards here, they sent me this whole package of this stuff. We got beard balms, we got a nice beard comb, beard oil. If you guys wanna check them out, outdoorbeards.com. Thanks, Matthew, really appreciate it. I think my wife is gonna appreciate the chocolate strawberry scent.